Badmouthing your ex can cost you your kids because involving children in litigation and involving them in the controversy between the parents can be really problematic for your children. Divorce is hard. Divorce is even harder for kids. Kids going through a divorce are experiencing things that they've never realized they were going to have to experience before. Not having both parents present with them every night. Not having both parents present when they have a positive thing happen to them or when they achieve their first time they walk. Those things can be difficult for children to undergo and to not have the familial support of both parents behind them. It's extremely important that you keep children completely shielded from things going on in your divorce. Not communicating with the children in a negative light about their other parent can be really beneficial to your children. If you keep those comments and you keep the children shielded from those comments, it can really help your child to adjust to the new transition of only having one parent present in their lives at a time. Should you be keeping a journal of every interaction with your ex? I'm going to tell you, you probably shouldn't, but I'm also going to tell you there are some things that you should be documenting. Keeping a journal of every interaction with your ex-spouse can create a really bad situation, a situation of toxicity, a situation where you're looking for other things that the other parent does wrong so that you can exploit them. Co-parenting is difficult. Co-parenting is a learned skill. It's something that you have to acquire over time. It's something that you really have to work with the other parent to master. If you're documenting every single negative instance, every single time that other parent picks up the child a little bit late at the exchange, if you're writing all those things down, if you're trying to hold the other parent accountable every single time something minor happens, it can create a really difficult situation and a really difficult co-parenting relationship. And usually those people end up in court all the time. To avoid that, you should only document important things that are happening. When one of the other parents is habitually late for the exchanges, when the other parent is not getting the child's schoolwork done during their parenting time, when the other parent is having domestic violence incidents during their parenting time with their new spouse. These are all the types of incidents that we would want you to be documenting and communicating with your attorney about so that we could assess the situation and determine whether or not we need to move forward with court intervention. Ever skip visitation because it didn't fit your schedule? That's not how this works. Your children need to be your first priority. If you're a parent that habitually misses parenting time with your child because of work, hanging out with your friends, other things that are going on in your life, the court can look at that and they can actually use that as a means of negatively impacting your parenting time, meaning reducing your time and allocating more time to the other parent who wants to spend that time with the child. It's really important that parents understand your child has to come first. Of course, there are things that may get in the way of your parenting time, things like work and that sort of thing. You do have the ability to explore daycare options to work or familial options to watch the child while you're doing those things. But if you're habitually making a routine out of not exercising your parenting time and leaving the child with the other spouse, or not exercising your parenting time and going out partying with your friends, things along those lines, it can become a situation where the court will negatively impact your time and where you should expect less time with your kids. This is how I advise my clients on how they should communicate with their ex-spouse regarding their child. Typically, I say it depends on your situation. If you had a contested divorce or a contested separation with your ex-spouse, it's probably a situation where it might be better to keep things in writing. It might be better to have documentation pertaining to your co-parenting and your co-parenting relationship. Of course, if you're getting along and you're co-parenting for the best interests of the child and you guys are really able to effectively communicate with each other, it may be a better situation where you guys are able to pick up the phone, talk with each other. Of course, a lot of information can be lost in translation via text message. So I always recommend, if you're able to, pick up the phone and talk to the other spouse. But again, remember, if you had a contested divorce and you think there's a possibility you may end up back in court in 6 months or a year, I heavily recommend keeping communications in writing. Having that detailed communication documented so that we can use it to protect you down the road could be pivotal to your case's success. If you're curious about common custody mistakes, or you want to talk to someone about what types of mistakes we see people exhibiting in cases, feel free to give the team at Desert Legal Group a call. We'd love to talk through these issues with you.